Hello, my name is Kimberly Kelly, and I'd like to introduce you to behaviorist Philip Heinlein. Who is Philip Heinlein and why do I care? Well, Philip Heinlein is a highly educated man. He received a BA from Hamilton College, then went on to pursue a degree from Harvard University and earned a PhD. He studied with B.F. Skinner and then went on to become a professor at Temple University, where he retired in 2011 and is currently a professor emeritus. His work has consisted of working with Walter Reed Army Institute of Research, where he fell in love with research. Then he went on to work as a professor at Temple University, where he co-founded the master's program in applied behavior analysis through the College of Education at Temple. And then he also served as editor of the experimental analysis of behavior. He's received many awards and recognition, several in education at Temple, and then also one from the American Psychological Association. He was president of the ABA International, was awarded Distinguished Service from them, and also received an outstanding contribution to basic research in 2002 from the APA. Some of the things that Philip has focused on that has impacted behavior analysis is understanding that explanatory language is very important in the field of applied behavior analysis, and the terminology that we utilize within our field needs to be conveyed and understood by all the people in our field, and that our peers need to understand and utilize it to help support individuals that we serve. And we also need to be able to utilize it in research and other ways to help other non-behavior analysis know what we do. He also focuses on temporal extension and behavior processes. This is between predictable and unpredictable outcomes and between immediate versus delayed consequences. He's the father of InterTeach format that many colleges and universities use that have candidates pursuing applied behavior analysis certification or degrees. He also has highlighted the importance of narrative and storytelling in our field. I have 5 articles highlighted or research studies highlighted that Philip has completed. He has a vast amount of research, but these were very interesting to me in my field of education. In 2020, he worked with other researchers to pilot a study to work with an individual that needed help with group pronouns, like everyone, everybody. The child was taught by the teacher, and she paired a neutral stimulus, a bell, with group pronouns. And during fading, she just used the group pronouns, and as a result, the child was able to understand that everyone and everybody also meant him, and he paid attention to instruction, and he also started engaging in group behaviors. In 2002, there's an article or study that he did on paradoxical vocabularies of topography-based and selection-based verbal behavior. And this is where they were focusing on reducing disruptive behavior through manned model and with other responses that request or manned attention. So they used gestures and they used pointing to help individuals change their behavior to a more appropriate response. And they found that it was very helpful, but there needed to be a little bit more research. And in 2013, they did a study on the acquisition of peer manding and listening response in young children with autism. And as we know, children with autism have some difficulty with social interaction and vocabulary. So they worked with peer-mediated instruction and provided an opportunity for listener response. And they found that the children were able to engage in more conversation with others. We also are going to be talking about generalizations of man and children with autism from peers, adults to peers. And I found this one particularly interesting because it really dealt with 3 preschool age children that were diagnosed with autism, and they were taught from an adult teacher that a skill basically, and the study showed limited transfer to the parents and the mandy did not transfer at all to the children's siblings or peers without direct instruction. So as a result, they decided that when you're working with children with autism, that we need direct teaching with a multitude of people, including peers and siblings, not just with the teacher. And in 2018, they did a really interesting research study on goal-directed, nature-based physical activity training program for individuals, females that had attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, excuse me. And so they did a pre and post test of the individual's physical self-perception. They also looked at how these individuals exercise, what type of physical fitness they did, what type of food consumption. And during the 9-week program, it was pretty rigid, but they got to go on a hike that was like an 8-mile hike that they got to carry a backpack and everything. But one of the things that they found, the pre and post test did not show a major difference in their physical self-perception. However, what they did find is that the young ladies did increase their exercise and physical fitness and reduce their consumption of junk food. If I had an opportunity to interview Philip HIneline, I would ask him 5 questions. What was the most profound research studies that you have contributed? How would you summarize your teaching style to engage students that pursued a degree in behavior analysis? And what was that particular spark for studying behavior analysis? Which researcher has impacted your passion for the field of behavior analysis? And how do you want the field of behavior analysis to remember you? I appreciate your time. These are the references that I used, along with the 5 research articles that I prefaced earlier. Thank you for your time.